Hi, this is a quick video about the transit of the North Node through the sign of Aries. This transit started yesterday and will carry on all the way through to January 11th, 2025. So let's talk about these lunar nodes. They're also known as Rahu and Ketu, the head and the tail of the dragon. Really, they are 2 points in space that mark when the paths of the sun and the moon they interconnect. So in Vedic astrology, these points are classed as shadowy planets. The North Node, which is the head of the dragon, it symbolizes a demon who was beheaded by the god Vishnu. Now, the North Node or Rahu, it can cause a ferocious appetite symbolized by the sign and the house that it is located within your own birth chart. So today I'm talking about the transiting North Node in the sky that is affecting all of us. The South Node, or Ketu, is said to be the body that remained when the dragon was decapitated. So it can symbolizes the release of something, the ending of something. But Rahu is an area that we feel extremely attracted to. In fact, we can become obsessed with the qualities of Rahu. So it is said to be a malefic. Both the south and the north nodes are malefic, which means that they are quite difficult to deal with. So obviously, this transit of the North Node in Aries is going to affect all of us in a global sense. And that is what I'm going to be talking about today. So the nodes have an 18-year cycle and they're always exactly opposite each other. So this North Node in Aries is ruled by Mars, which is the planet of warfare, aggression levels, your sexuality. So those are all going to be themes over the next couple of years during this transit. And I can tell you, it is not going to be peaceful. It is going to be an extreme time for all of us, in particular next year. Now, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but this is the reality. We can also look at some of the historical years when the North Node was transiting through Aries to get a bit of an idea as to what may be happening. So in 1949, the NATO treaty was signed. In 1967 to 69, we had the race riots within the US. In 1986, Halley's Comet was spotted again, and we had a lot of activity from the IRA within Northern Ireland. Then in 2004, Hurricane Katrina. George Bush gets a second term, and the trial of Saddam Hussein started. Now, also, there are a lot of times when the North Node was in Aries, and we had quite extreme changes within the Earth, earthquakes, hurricanes, and so on. So don't know for sure if that is going to happen, but it does seem to be a bit of a pattern there. Now, the country that is really going to be affected by this transit is United States of America, in particular next year. I would expect a lot of stuff to go down next year within that country. So we can connect it with riots, protests, and actually, a lot of violence. And it is an election year next year. We know that's going to be a controversial one. So let's just wait and see what happens. So the sexuality of people, their gender identity, as we know, that has already been a thing. It's going to continue over the next few years. People are going to be very aggressive about it. When the North Node is in Aries, we are moving away from any kind of peace and harmony. The energies of Venus, which is to keep the peace, to be diplomatic, they are gone now. It's all about Mars. It's about action. Now, on the plus side, you, on a personal level, you will have a lot of energy to channel into some part of your life. and you will want to reach that place no matter what. It's going to give us a lot of determination, a lot of courage, which is a good thing, as that seems to be in short supply these days. So this North Node in Aries transit, it actually does activate the eclipse point. We had an eclipse occur at April 20th in Aries. It was a bit of a big one. Now, this is your final burst of energy that you will use to pursue the goal of whatever that eclipse represented for you. You can go back and watch that video again. It's on my channel. And this is the final push for you to kind of reach that destination, reach that goal, and for things to really start happening and manifesting for you, which is going to be really great. So we could also see a lot of violence here. Now, I know that's not so great, but war is kind of been a thing for the past few years, and I would expect that to continue. There may be new alliances formed, since that is what we saw when the North Node was in Aries in 1949 to 1950. There may be some military alliances formed, or partnerships between countries. So we definitely will be seeing a lot of extremes, and we will be given the energy to push towards our goals, maybe in a way that is really ruthless, because Aries is not peaceful. It is a ruthless sign. It is ruled by Mars. Now, that is really great on a personal level because people need more Mars. But the downside of that, of course, is that there's more arguments, more bickering, and so on. So someone actually asked me on my Telegram channel, why are people so aggressive now? Everywhere you go, and it's something that I also noticed, even on sites like Instagram, you watch a nice reel about kittens or puppies and people are arguing in the comments, and it just seems to be so insane. So that also will continue. Now, the reason why, of course, this was happening before this transit started is actually because of Jupiter activating some stars that are connected to aggression and bickering and violence. So that is why, and that will continue. Try and avoid those people who will argue with you no matter what. It's probably best not to leave any comments on the internet, because somebody somewhere is going to take it the wrong way. Now, I would advise you to channel this really potent energy into your goals. So it could be your job, a relationship, some kind of new beginning that you're working on. Because if you don't find a healthy place to channel it, you're going to notice more conflict and more arguments and this kind of restlessness inside yourself that may be a bit destructive if it does not get some kind of healthy release. Now, because the South Node is in Libra, which is all about relationships and harmony and diplomacy and peace, and we're moving away from that, of course, it means that if this transit affects something in your chart or the composite chart that you have with your partner, there may be more fireworks. You may experience more conflict, and it's hard to achieve any kind of state of peace. Now, I will say that the North Node in Aries tends to make us more selfish and more concerned with fulfilling our own desires than harmony with other people. But of course, relationships must have compromise and harmony in order for them to work. So it's definitely a good idea to really still try to focus on Venusian energy with your partner. Try and be fair. Partnerships are a team. It is not about you. It is about both of you together. And if your needs are very base, low-level needs, like stuff connected to your genitals, which Aries actually, Mars rules your genitals, which is why everyone is talking about their genitals at the minute, and it's just such a very low frequency kind of thing to do. But try and avoid that in a kind of negative or degenerate way. So this is not going to be a boring time at all. It doesn't have to be a bad time. It can be fantastic. on a personal level, I know that there are going to be some bad things that happen in the world. That's just the nature of this transit. But if it's not happening on your doorstep, then these events will act as some kind of distraction from the goals that you have in life. So try not to get distracted. Pour this wonderful energy into some kind of personal project that you have. And that's really all that I had to say about that. So if you would like a private reading, you can go to my website. I'll drop the link below. And you can also study under me, become one of my students to learn how to be a professional astrologer yourself. So that's it, guys. I will be back again soon. I have another video for all of the signs that concerns Venus retrograde, which is happening soon. It's very tied up with this North Node, South Node transit, because Venus is the ruler of the South Node. That is what we are releasing. And Venus retrograde is going to be a pretty exciting time, let's put it that way. So take